Hello everybody, I have a puzzle for you, and perhaps this is one you can try out on your friends and family. Look at this picture. Now the puzzle is this. Can you draw a continuous curve without taking your pen off the paper that crosses each line once, and once only? So it might look something like this. Okay, let's say I start over here, and I come into the box and I cross that line, and I go up through the top, and I go over, I come back down, cross that line, go out of the picture, come back in, go through there, perhaps I'll cross this line, through here, down through this line. Now it's important to remember these two halves of this line count as two different lines, so I can go up through here, that is allowed, and then I come back down, round, into this box, and right, now I'll have to stop there. So if I go down again, I cross this line twice, which is not allowed. So I nearly did it, but it didn't quite work. Now the question is, can you do it? If you don't want to know the solution, I suggest you pause the video now, because I'm going to give you the solution in a second. So if you want to try it, do pause, stop, or do something like that, because I can tell you that this is impossible. But I want to know why it's impossible. Let me show you how to prove it. Here's that picture again. Now what we want to do is we want to cross each line once and once only. So let's draw that in. So I want to cross this line like that. I want to cross this line. And I want to cross all these lines. And I want to cross them each once. So this is exactly what I want to do. Now, to finish this off, really, it should just be a case of joining up the dots. So I might come into this box and then I'll go up through the top like that. Let me add just one more thing. Let's say every time I enter a box, I make a detour to the centre. So let me draw that in. I'm going to draw in the centre points. So there, 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 and there. Okay, let's join up the dots now. If we do, this is what we'll get. We'll get a picture that looks like this. Now this is a diagram that tells us everything that we can do. Now I haven't connected the curve outside the picture, but certainly inside the picture this tells us everything we can do. So if I could come into the box here and I go to the centre, I could go up through the top, or I could come in and go to the centre and I could go down this way, or I could come into the centre and I could keep going and cross this line like that, and then I could go up. This really tells us everything that we can do. Now every time I enter the centre of a box, I leave it again. So lines into the centre come in pairs. We should have an even number of lines at each centre point. There are two exceptions to this, and they are if the centre point is the beginning point or the end point. In that case, we may have an odd number of lines. So we can have at most 2 points with an odd number of lines. But here, in this diagram, we can see that we have 3 centre points with an odd number of lines. And that's why it's impossible to draw. This idea has a proper name, and it's called an Euler's trail. The idea of drawing a curve such that each point has an even number of lines, perhaps except at the beginning or at the end. That's called an Euler's trail. And that is how you do it. So, as usual, if you have been, thanks for watching. And